Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in? You could get your dose of iron in the morning. Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. And this is going to be a rather interesting show, I think. We're going to have to see who's going to pop on. Because as it stands right now, I'm flying solo. Zach's usually here. Awesome Austin has been joining us a lot on Tuesdays, but he's not here. Walter, I assume, is still in recovery mode. And, yeah, I'm just trying to get caffeinated. So what's up to everybody there in chat? I do see Ian and Ben. And my drivers are updating on my computer. And everything freaked me out there for just half a tick. In fact, things aren't quite as they should be. Well, crap. I'm a little worried I'm going to restart all this as a way to get this up and running. I don't know what the hell just happened. Oh, OBS crashed. Of course it did. So I'm still live. I'm still here. I just got to pull up OBS again. Don't mind me. This is what happens when Josh tries to fly solo. You know what? Maybe I'll even see what he thinks about all this. Wait for it. There we go. There we go. That's a little good. So my deepest apologies, everybody. This has been quite a strange morning. All right, Zach. I see you awake. Maybe. We'll try it. We'll see. We'll see if he answers. We'll see what's going on. What a pain in my ass. Everything's all wonky. What the hell is going on around here? So my deepest apologies, everybody. I don't know what the hell. This is a Tuesday morning like you rarely see. But the kind you often read about in Greek tragedies. I had all this set up. Honest, I did. All right. Now I think we're rolling. Sort of. Back to where we were. Sort of. Calling Zach. Unavailable, it says. Well, shit. All right, so here's what we gonna do. I think we'll just open up the phone line. I did see Erika talking about calling in. Again, we'll say hello to Ian and Ben, Liz, Alan, Robert Page. Then, of course, there's Erika. There's Travis, The Plain Truth, Dean HD, Zombie Snoop rolling in here first thing in the morning, whereas Alan was first over there on TFR. Oh, shit. Liz says that my last solo show was great. That's very polite of you, Liz. I really appreciate that. Shit, it is Tuesday, isn't it? What the hell? So strange. It's not often everybody misses. It's all right. I'm going to drop this link here. Maybe open up the TFR phone lines. I think might be something else that would be a good idea. Provided I can put it somewhere where I can see. Then let's just go ahead and drop this restream link, because why the hell not? It's not like anybody else is going to join me this morning. So there it is. Grand rising to you, BCB. You will have to forgive us. I'm kind of flying solo this morning, when I was fully expecting Zach to pop on. At the very least, expecting Zach to pop on. So, yeah. There's Erika. I know she's here somewhere. She may still be connected. We'll wait while she gets everything hooked up and connected. I know Erika has been researching a whole lot, doing some readings from the Quran. They're on her channel as well. Truth Unveiled. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. Truth Unveiled 1, 1. 2, 3. So as soon as I see some audio bouncing or some video kick on over there for you, Erika, I'll get you on. Let's see. What else did I say I was going to do? I was going to do the phone lines just to see what happens there. All right. Do it, Alan. Just click it. Alan saying it's tempting to want to click that restream link. Something beeping. Uh-oh. All right. So it looks as though Erika couldn't quite get connected, because I just saw her drop out. But that being said, we were joined by the Alan Holman. And Alan is, of course, our executive line producer. And then here comes Erika back again to give it another shot. Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check 1, 2. Alan, I'm not seeing any audio for you. You may still need to get that connected. I'm not seeing audio or video from anybody, but that's all right. Look, here's how we do. We'll just throw you guys up over on the side. Wait to see if something happens. And in the meantime, I'll just sit here and fill, I guess. That's all right. I know that they had been including some Space Lettuce stories. I'd seen a few people drop a few different stories, so perhaps I will delve into there whilst we wait for the others to join us and to get everything connected. And who knows who may end up calling in. What was I looking for? Space Lettuce. Right. Oh, yeah. A planet cooling scheme. I wonder what they could want to do with that. But that's almost worth sharing that screen right there. Oh, did we lose Erika again? I'm so confused at what's going on here. Good morning, Jeremy. I want to know more popping on as well. All right. I know I got some windows to capture here somewhere. Sorry, I was not expecting to do this solo. So normally there'd be a lot of people here willing to fill all this. You throw Erika back in there, see if she's got sound connected. I will try to open this window up a little bit, make it visible for everybody here. What a cluster. And there goes Erika again, and here comes Erika back. Add her two, and see if she's connected. Good morning, Erika. Can you hear me? Perhaps. I definitely don't hear you. All right, let's see what we got here. Testing of this planet cooling scheme could start as early as 2022. The stratosphere is a dry and frigid place.
I'm not Erika.
Oh, look at this. Welcome, Travis.
I'm here to save the day.
Thank God. You sound good this morning, too.
Hello. I sound what?
Really good this morning, too.
Well, thank you very much. I've never, well, I don't even know what to say to that. I was trying to be funny, but it's too early. I haven't had coffee.
It's hard to be a performing monkey, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm usually pretty more astute, but I just dropped the ball on that one.
So what's been going on with Trav? Oh, really?
No, sorry. I went on mute because I was walking back to my truck, and I didn't want the engine to overwhelm the speaker. But what's been going on? Just working. I think I was on Friday, so we talked then. But my most exciting thing I think that's going on right now, and I cut the guy off just because it was absolutely redonkulous. I had this Swedish Arctic Reflections YouTube guy come after me and make three videos. And you know what? I was really excited when it first happened. I wake up, check my YouTube. Arctic Reflections mentions you, and I was like, "Who's this Arctic Reflections?" And he made this video, and I was like, "Yes, finally, someone is going to address." No, it was absolutely stupid, crazy stupid. This guy just did not even touch me.
Just missed it completely, huh?
Man, crazy. I posted it everywhere for other people to check out. I've got feedback like, yeah, man, that guy didn't even address your claim. It was just really unfortunate, really sad. You know,
Hey, can you guys hear me? I think I figured out how to unmute.
like
You figured it out, Alan.
and all those guys not to.
Oh, I was telling Alan that he
Say-
did. He figured it out. Alan said he thinks he figured out how to unmute. Can you not hear him?
No, I can't hear anything but you.
Can you hear me now, Travis?
Anyway, so he gave it 3 shots. That's 3 strikes. So I just cut him off. I just turned off, blocked him, just so I don't even have to worry about it. Because I get like I have a sickness, Josh. I have a sickness where like I want to check back and see maybe he's got something this time, and I just don't want to give my energy that way. So
Yeah, well, I can appreciate that, especially when somebody just doesn't see the forest for the trees, or is looking at a completely different fucking landscape.
yeah, well, even if I weren't flat Earth, let's say I was just a regular guy going out and doing observations, I think the stuff that I'm looking at and the stuff that I'm talking about and saying is really, really interesting. Let alone the fact that it does touch on the whole shape of the Earth argument.
Hello?
Anywho,
Hello, Erika. Travis,
Oh,
I cannot believe you can't hear them. That is so strange.
yeah,
I figured out what to do. I was so confused for a sec. Sorry.
No, I think I might have this figured out. Give me half a tick and see if I can't.
Turn that off, honey.
Now I'm looking for the video button.
Right on. It should be down there on just the little camera at the bottom. There, Alan.
Yeah, I got his audio.
All right, yeah, I switched it over, so hopefully now Travis should be able to hear everybody. Everybody should be able to hear Travis. The audience should be able to hear us all. And yeah, I think I got it. How you doing, Erika?
I'm great. Yeah, I just figured out how to do this. I'm just trying to stay up all night for my health. I don't want to sleep all the time, so I'm just drinking a lot of coffee and live chatting right now. So
That's an interesting statement. I'm trying to stay up all night for my health because I don't want to sleep.
So I'm going to drink a lot of coffee. Snort a
Could
bunch.
I ask what health issue?
What was that, Alan?
Could I ask what health issue?
Oh, well, I've had a lot of I do like exorcisms on myself. I had a lot of like demons coming out lately, and it's a little uncomfortable. Like I had a parasite in my brain that I extracted. And sometimes for your homeostasis, you want to like stay up all night. If you're sleeping every day from 9 to 6 a.m. or whatever, you get in a cycle. And it's good to just push yourself, like a warrior, and just stay up for, all night once in a while, or just sleep on the floor and stuff,
Well, I am very glad I asked you that question. That was a very interesting answer.
Yeah, it's a little misunderstood, but, I think of life very differently than what life presents itself as. So, not a lot of people understand me, but it's a message. So.
Yeah, Erika, I don't want you to think that I was laughing at you. It was just an unusual statement to make. It was interesting, like Alan said. What do you understand about exorcism and how parasites relate to that?
Oh, I believe that there are etheric parasites and that they affect all humanity and everything. And I believe they're the root of all sickness and suffering. And actually, in the 1800s, before the 1900s, when the Rothschild regime took over the pharmaceutical industry, people commonly believed that demons, parasites, archons were a cause of suffering in us all. And then the regime took over and changed medicine altogether. And I kind of stick with that belief that
I believe it was the Rockefellers that took over medicine in the early 1900s.
That's what I meant. I got confused, but they had something to do with each other.
Yeah, no doubt.
I got to get my coffee. One sec.
It's interesting that she mentions these parasites because according to the stuff that I've studied, uh, there's a bacteria called Candida that is responsible for a lot of illnesses in very different ways. It's responsible for a lot of different illnesses, and it's a bacteria. You there?
I'm
Yep.
so sorry. I missed it a little bit. I heard something that really resonated with me.
Candida, I mentioned.
Yeah, that overgrowth of the candida acting as a parasite, driving your urges and your cravings to continue to feed itself.
They love stagnant energy. It really boils down to an energetic thing. Food and what we do on a daily basis is just a reflection of our soul's state of being. And a lot of the time stagnant same energy will cause blockages, which they call cancer. Any illness is just these like stagnant blockages that build up over time from like doing something too much or not doing something enough. And I think that the practice of making yourself uncomfortable and doing things you don't want to do that are good for you, like do sit-ups all day, or do something like push yourself beyond that. And it's a real cure for this, the root cause from the demons of the candida, of the sickness, of the parasites. And it has a lot to do with mentality and what you're thinking too. And
Holding on to the wrong relationships can even help develop cancer, according to what I think.
mhm. And it's a relationship with me. I believe in a creator, and it's the relationship with the creator at the end of the day, because he's in control of everything. And it doesn't matter, like I've been through a lot in my life. When I was lost and didn't know the earth was flat, I didn't know nothing. And I was lost on the path for a while. And bad things happen, hard things happen, because you got to get snapped back into that state where you're toughened and you could wake up to reality. I'm just kind of in the zone of just like toughening up, being nicer. I'm like hard around the edges sometimes, but I want to learn to have better rhetoric, because my message is very important. And if I don't deliver the message well about parasites, about healing, about the archonic rulers of reality, I'm not doing the duty well. So I kind of get a little nervous because I'm kind of like quirky, but I don't know. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing. I'm kind of going a lot different places, but definitely
I
herbal
think
medicine
that
is
everything that you've
important.
mentioned is quite connected fundamentally.
Well, what is
Because, for example, I think that stress causes acidosis, causes the
mm,
environment where things like cancer can grow. And you're talking about the same thing, because it would really be, if you're talking in the language of demons and such, then demons are the source of stress.
exactly? It's called loose energy, and they generate loose energy. There's electromagnetic warfare where in this society we live in, a lot of the time it's stress energy they want in the news, because they work with the industry of pharmaceuticals. So the news and the pharmaceuticals and the politics and the schooling system are all one loose energy generating system to get you sick and suffering, but get your soul low, like a low vibration frequency. And it's about resonation and vibrating. And if we're
Yeah,
not vibrating high enough, we're becoming like a herd cattle, you know and that's the
most
main thing. Yeah.
most television networks have pharmaceutical company advertisers, and a lot of those networks are connected to each other via a thing called the Trilateral Commission, and that basically spreads the pharma message everywhere in the world. And people like you, people like me, people like other shows and whatnot have to spread the alternative information as best as we can.
Agreed. It's a tyrannical system, and it's a system that if you know about like Morgellons, it's connected to that demon thing. And that, like, I've been put through the system of psychiatry since I was a little girl. And, my mom was a de facto agent at the time for the pharmaceutical industry, being a 90s kid, late 90s. Adderall was heavily prescribed. And, at an early age, I felt that tyranny in my life. And I knew that oppressive force that is this, big pharma industry. And, you can't, now I'm living in a world where I can't say what I'm thinking, but I remember as a kid, I could express myself. I used to draw whatever I want, say what I want. Now we're living in a time of heavily censoring ourselves, but it's a test.
I have a theory that some of the psychotropic drugs which pharmacists, okay, you know what? Commercial break. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm real curious to hear your continued theory on the
I'll tell
psychotropics.
you.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll listen to that and so much more on the other side of this break, right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Josh flying by himself, opening up the phone lines. Alan, Erika, and Travis. We'll be right back.
There's magic in good communications. There's magic in the human touch of words. It was said the pen is mightier than the sword. That's true. Words are powerful. Words are almost godlike. I'm an amateur on some of these studies, but an ancient verse says God was the Word, and the Word was God. How powerful language to illustrate how powerful the Word is. Words can be life-changing. Words can give life. Words can formulate ideologies. We have to find ways to give words to that so that it can be understood. Words form the pictures of our minds. Words help to translate an interchange of thought and ideas between human beings. So one of the most important skills is the skill of good communication. Learning words, phrases, sentences, whether it's written or spoken. Language is so powerful in affecting our lives and using those skills to affect other people's lives.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
I want to determine if the grand architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step Beyond the Veil with Chris and Sherry Geo.
Fridays and Saturdays,
7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again."
I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Simulcast across from places, YouTube, Odyssey, DLive, Facebook, Twitter, I believe, as well. And let's see, we got a couple callers on the line.
First half of the second half. That's a quarter, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. That's the first quarter.
Good.
The first half of the second half. Second half of the first half.
I can't think.
What I wanted to say before the break is I think that, now this is just a theory, but perhaps some of the psychotropic drugs which psychiatrists prescribe have the effect of making it difficult for the people on the drugs to come up with the right argument at the right time for.
Can I say something about that?
For sure.
So in the book of Solomon Apocrypha taken out of the Bible, there's a demon called Ativan. And it's written in the scripture, and Ativan is the demon of the throat out of the 72 demons in the Seal of Solomon. So Ativan controls the throat and takes over the mind. So think about the drug Ativan that's regularly prescribed in psychiatric units. It could just be a form of possession. A lot of the medication is sorcery and potion magic. I'm guilty of using certain ones in certain ways, but not as prescribed. But really, I try to stay away from any type of pharmaceutical medication just because they put poisons in it and carbon. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a form of mind control and sorcery. I mean, it means sorcery. Anyway, I don't know if it's okay to talk about here. I know a lot of the time it gets in trouble, and I'm not giving medical advice, but the greatest is the heightened state, I believe. The higher in the state you can go, and they call it mania. But if you actually have a manic state and you have some sort of illness, you're able to actually heal it in a heightened enough state and vibration. Though you might get locked up or have some bad things happen. But I don't know. Yeah, a lot of the talking on and on. I like what you're saying, though. It's cool we relate.
Erika, if I could ask a question, go back. You used the term Archon, and I think when you first described it, you said something about it being etheric. Was that a term you used?
Yeah, like beings of plasma. The ether. They run on like a grid that's like electricity, and I actually have a theory that most of our electricity runs off these things called demons. And the fact that I could see you right now across the United States, and the fact that computers work in such a way, there's a point where it becomes kind of a magic. And I'm not an electromagnetic engineer at all. I don't really know the ins and outs of technology, but I do know that the microchips look a lot like cities. And I always think that these little microchips could harness these beings that are unseen to us, but they go through electricity. And I know this. Well, in scripture, they're described as beings of fire, and in biblical language, fire can mean energy, electricity, and stuff like that. So they're the jinns, the demons, the archons are beings of plasmatic energy, and yeah. There's I mean,
so when you talked about exorcisms and parasites, how what's your understanding of how they gain access to our physiology?
Again, with the grids, they go inside our body and all around us, and they move, and they're affected a lot by shapes and patterns. So They go within your body, very tiny, molecularly small, and when they find a part of you that they're able to manipulate, control, or defect, they do it. There's some good ones out there that don't do this, but there's a lot out there. There's like 72 of them that do it, and each one has a ascribed section of the body that it affects and a part of the life that it affects, which again is in the Book of Solomon. I can explain it like,
Have
I
you
want to
ever heard
plug
of?
this therapy. Actually, I just found out about. It's called Kuro therapy, and it's in France. And it's a belief that I believe in, that they even say electromagnetic plasmatic parasites that affect our body, and it's a popular form of therapy in France right now. And they do healing through lights and different forms of vibrational healing, and it's a official medical practice in France right now. I know there's a lot of ways to fight and combat these things. It's a really grand topic. I don't mean to take up too much space, or if I'm boring you, I don't know.
Well, it's not boring, but you mentioned the
Yeah,
72
not at all.
demons from the Book of Solomon, and I once heard this story that Albert Pike had some kind of a ring which could apparently summon those 72 demons, but I don't know if that story was true or false or what, but I heard the story somewhere.
It's probably true. I mean, a lot of the things that would affect us is just summoning of demons. I think about, this is one I've been really meditating on lately. When you use arc in a word like architecture, archetype, archaeology, archons, it seems that it has to do with what the demons do. I actually believe that the archons built these buildings that we live on, and that they generated these mega structures, and a reason why it's called architecture actually has to do with them. Like basilicas have to do with silica, but they're able to create things. They're able to move objects to different things, but there's certain people that are so possessed by them and full of them, they become a humanoid archon. And the humanoid archons are, the upper tier of the Illuminati. The real upper tier is the unseen demons. And then it trickles down. And a lot of the things have to do with black magic and sorcery. And like even in medical institutions, they use black magic to manipulate people, to cause them to be a certain way. And it's possible to summon demons. I really don't like ever to do that, and I just love to separate myself as much as I can from demonic energy. I know like psychedelic drugs open up portals to learning experiences, but I've learned a lot about demons through the use of psychedelics, to be honest. I think the most intense experience I had was on morning glory seeds, LSA derivative, natural form of natural LSD. That's really when I had like a broad awakening that there is something moving us, and manipulating us. And archetypes, you ever realize groups of people act exactly the same? I mean, I don't want to really offend anyone, offend culture. I always watch what I
That's
say.
true. When I worked at a market research place and I'd call people giving them telephone surveys, most people replied either one of two ways, and like pretty much to every question. And I'm talking not just yes no questions, but questions where people could have had a diverse spectrum of opinions. There was usually only about two or three opinions floating around. It was a really fascinating thing to witness when I was doing that. Anyway.
I totally, and it has to do with the parasitic infestation and the possession. Because when the parasite comes in groups of people, it'll make them act a certain way. Like let's say people like a certain type of music, they're going to act a certain way, dress a certain way, talk a certain way, talk about the same thing, and be in a group all being the same way. Because there's like a hive, a honeycomb hive of demons in a grid working together and speaking through many people at once. Even like I was talking about SJW, social justice warriors. and how they all really give this the same kind of crazy nonsense in the same way, and it's totally a deluded delusion, because the demons want you to be in a delusion. They want you reveling in denial. They want you for this life. They want you to live for this life, die for this life, and be totally lost, because then they have your soul. And it really, hellfire is a circuit energy system, and it's a fuel. And there's bad humans that go to hell. Get over it. You don't have to go to hell if you're good, and it doesn't really matter because it's God's will. I don't ever disbelieve in hell. I think it's actually a very important belief to have in order to move forward in existence. And I was thinking about it as a generating system, and it's like the bad humans who chose to live in a divergent, evil way will become a literal fuel for a machine that's in the underworld. And then I believe that there's the good people without the jinns in them are doing good, and they raise electromagnetically into the 7-layered heavens, where I believe in reincarnation as well, where we reincarnated in our lives to go to the 7 heavens and live out our good deeds. And then it's all over, cards on the table. We're judged, and then we go to a different realm, either the perfect realm that's forever or the horrible realm that's forever. And there can't be a perfect realm in this reality without that evil realm. So I really think it's about the hereafter, and I think it has to do with matters of the soul, less than
A
matters.
couple of times in this conversation, you mentioned the word jinn, which is spelled Djinn, and it's a type of demon. And I'm just curious, where did you get familiar with that word?
I used to be I was many religions in my life. I chose now to be devoid of organized religion. I just follow scripture and God alone. But I was Muslim for a long time, and I practiced in the religion of brand Islam. And on my channel is Truth Unveiled 1123. But I left the fold of Islam, but I left it with a lot of information. So that's kind of where I heard jinn. That's where I first really heard about it, and it really resonated with me so loudly. Connecting jinn is the same as demon, the same as devas. If you read the Lotus Sutra, actually in Buddhism, it calls them and devas and mankind. That same line is in the Quran, and jinn and mankind, al jinn and al nas. And then you have the deep devas and mankind. It's a connection in all the scriptures. It just attunes so perfectly. I just use jinn a lot because I'm used to saying that for the demons. Just because I love Quranic Arabic, and I read the Quran all the time. I don't know if that explains it, but yeah, the jinn.
I am not very familiar with the Quran, but I did hear this one story from it called the Hadith of the Blanket. Do you know
It's
about
not
that
from the
one?
Quran, I think. If it's this is where I just want to correct you before you go on. The Hadith is an evil parasite that attached itself to the Quran. So I eliminate some Hadith isn't. I'll let you talk, but I'm just saying the Hadith is different from the Quran. The Hadith is what mind controlled many people to actually go against the Quran. It's kind of like the Talmud with the Torah, or the Tanakh with the Torah, and it kind
It's
of drives
just
people away from
that this story that I'm alluding to is about how this one guy had a whole bunch of friends all underneath this one blanket, and that's kind of an analogy for flat Earth. We're all underneath a dome or a firmament. Yeah, but that's really the only story from that entire religion that I
if you're flat Earth
know.
proofs are actually in the Quran about like 100 times. It's really speaking towards. I'll read you a couple lines from my head. And the earth was laid out flat as a carpet, and with a ceiling above you. Then there's another line that the earth is still, and the sun and the moon circuit in their own orbit spinning. And these are lines in the Quran verbatim. You can look it up. There's like so many flat earth proofs in the Quran. I love it. And then there's one, I swear by the boats receding in the horizon. And I believe the Quran was revealed a lot later than they say, because I believe in the added 1,000 years to our history. I think Autodidactic made a really good video about the Henri theory. But I really believe that the Quran was probably revealed around the 1600s. And I have a lot of reasons to believe that, because it has a lot of flat Earth anti-globe debunking in it. It also has a lot of mud flood references. And when they say it was revealed in the 500s, no one believed in heliocentrism in the 500s. Heliocentrism peeped its little satanic head, I think, around the 1500s, 1400s. So I really think that all these dates are wrong, and that I love the Quran. I think it's one of the best scriptures I've ever read. It has nothing to do with the religion that surrounds it. If you want to hear more about that, check out Sam Gerrans' channel, Sam Gerrans. I know Patricia Steer has a good interview with him. I really like it with Patricia Steer, Sam Gerrans' interview. But he did
Yeah,
his own
but sadly, most of Patricia Steer's videos disappeared from the internet a long time ago.
Yeah. He has it on his channel, which is good. I don't know if she probably deleted it, but
Any chance we can get a link to Sam's channel?
yeah. He's really deep. Like, honestly, you when you hear him, you're gonna listen to every single video he has and get lost for like 3 months. Like, I literally, like, I binged listened to him and fanboyed.
Does he address mostly Quranic issues or others?
He's into flat Earth. He talks about, the agendas and regimes. He's really, really. I don't know how to drop. Hold on, let me go to this chat. He's a really, really, really intelligent individual, and he did his own translation of the Quran without the creed of the religion that surrounds it. So he does like Quran alone, anti government, organized religion. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to get to the chat. Okay. I'll drop a link to his channel. Totally like the best, honestly, like one of the best channels ever. Like, I hope links work. Let me know if you got my link, I guess. I think it worked. Well, just look up Sam Gerrans. It's SAMGERRANS. But yeah, I mean, life is topsy-turvy. Everything you're told is just like, it's not even a double-sided coin. It's just like a multifaceted rabbit hole. And excuse me, I actually have to get a cup of coffee. I made coffee just because you inspired me. And it has great serotonin uptake inhibitors.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
I'm good, Alan. How are you? I went ahead and dropped that link for Sam's channel in the chat. I will drop it for you, Travis. Right here.
It worked?
So that you've got it as well.
Yeah, thanks. I found it once she put his the spelling of his name. I jumped over there real quick, but thank you.
Good. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. You've tuned in to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio. We've still got about another, 7 minutes before we hit the halfway mark.
I'm having so much fun. I love it.
I'm
you
glad
guys are awesome.
We're having the most fun.
This is like the most fun I can have right now.
I'm enjoying this. I'm
really enjoying having you guys on.
Group hug.
Group hug. Love all around. Travis, you're probably not unfamiliar with Solomon's seal and the Ring of Solomon and the Goetia.
Well, growing up as a conservative, traditional Christian, I would say I'm very unfamiliar because as a Protestant, right, we don't have to talk about it. So, even the Book of Enoch, I still haven't read it. I tried listening to it one time, but I found it that for me it was too difficult to listen to, and just haven't gotten around to reading it. So it's really, really interesting to be open to reconsidering reality from this perspective. So I still have tons to learn, and unlearn, right?
Yeah, like ego death, like a new perspective on everything is what we always need, because a lot of time we are always in boxes, and then the box is open and we're in a bigger box, and then we open that box and we're in an even bigger box, and it just kind of peels away the layers of reality. And I was born Jewish, and I was Buddhist, and then I became Christian, and I became this, and I became, Muslim, all to find
I gotta
out that
log out now. I gotta help a family member with something, so I gotta log out now. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling in, Alan. Thanks for hanging out with us every day. Thanks
Bye,
for all
Alan.
the
Take care, man.
producing that you do. Sorry, you were saying, Erica?
I just found out that, all these religions, it's a herd mentality, kind of like a group organization, and God doesn't really want you following a crowd. If you read the scripture, he wants you to be like how the prophets always went against the crowd. It was always a group of people, and it was a problem. Really, it's just from an internal experience that you can have, and no organized religion can even like conform me anymore. I've grown to be a giant. I'm like King Kong, and like I ripped the shackles, and there's like nothing holding me back. And a lot of people go the wrong way, leave religion and just throw out God. But I found God closer leaving these religions, because I think of religions now as schools, as the pharmaceutical industry is all the same kind of like group working in it. Even the churches are like government run. They have things they have to say, and it hurts too much. It's scary. Like it's uncomfortable to be for me in any kind of group program. And it was the biggest awakening I ever had leaving that, because my whole life I was trying to find the right religion, but I found out it was none of them.
How would you differentiate the term for you, finding God, as opposed to someone who is religious and said that they found God? Because my mom was 40 before she became a Christian, so she found God. But for you, in your understanding now, when you say that you have found God, what does that mean for you, and how do you, I guess, um, relate to
And we've
God?
only got about 3 minutes for you to answer that question.
I'll say God is merciful and all encompassing, and when you walk to him, he runs to you. And it's not even at the end of the day my choice. It was his choice that I found the truth, and that I found that, these things that I know, it's out of my hands. It's just God did it, and he's working through everything, and he's most almighty and merciful. And I think, a lot of the people, if we just pick up the Quran, there's a lot of answers in it. It clears up a lot of things. And I just want to say that it's one of the most profound books. It's been a portal for me. I listen to it every single night for like 3 years now, and I read it and study it consistently. Um, it's so hard to explain right now in words, but if you read it with other scriptures, it makes life make so much more sense, and it makes everything much more reasonable and understandable without other people thinking for me, because that was my main problem my whole life, is people trying to define things for me and make things for me. So I didn't find God encompassed me with his mercy, and took me to his refuge. And I just pray for everyone to find that kind of peace in their life, because I grew up with no peace. I grew up with chaos, and I found peace. I was eased into ease, and that's a sign that I'm favored in him, and I want it to be that way always, because I fear losing him again. It's a scary life without God.
Did you just say you were eased into ease?
Yeah,
I dig that. That's good shit.
that's a line in
Yeah,
the
I like that too.
Quran.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
just quote the Quran mostly, like the language of the Quran, like it's like, and they succumb to a means of denial and in a wanton perfidy. It's just like the words like make me want to like melt, and just like, I don't know. Everyone check out it. His translation of the Quran is on his website. You could go to corenight.com, and there's a audio. There's also the PDF for free, and all the audio of him reading the Quran. You could just listen to it, and just like learn that it has literally nothing to do with the cult that claims it. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but they are cults. We are in the cult of Everything is a cult. And the only cult I want to be in is my own cult with God.
Amen.
Well, you know, the ironic thing about, just real quick, the ironic thing about culture, right? We can not be in a cult. And that, all I mean by that is that we are in an environment. You know, we can't remove ourselves.
Before I go, can I show you my painting?
Absolutely.
Here's a sigil I made when I was in Canada recently, and I designed it to protect me. But also I drew a hospital. Here is a drawing of a hospital with the demonic presence around it. So that's the hospital and what it really looks like.
And I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump. Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump. We have gone from America first to America last. Democrats are vicious. Remember this, it's true. Who would have thought that within 33 days we'd be bombing the Middle East? You can French kiss the guy next to you. Yelling abolish the police. With your help, we will take back the House. We will win the Senate. And then a Republican president will make a triumphant return. Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump. Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump. We take great pride in our country. We teach the truth about history, and we reject left-wing lunacy. Put the mask on! That's not funny! Put the mask on! Because ain't nobody having fun while the socialists are in charge. With your help, we will take back the House. We will win the Senate, and then a Republican president will make a triumphant return. Who will that be? Donald Trump! Who will that be? President Trump! Who will that be? Donald Trump! Who will that be? President Trump! By the way, in Washington, D.C., Bernie is wearing mittens. Hasbro now wants a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head. Fortunately, yes, is yet to come. 3, 2, 1. Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump. Who will that be? Donald Trump. Who will that be? President Trump.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your head.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard,
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworks on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
If you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer, then tune in to the Ironworks with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworks and become an Iron Scout.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
I thought I fixed that. Apparently. Welcome back, everybody, for the first half of the second half of the Ironworks, kicking off right now.
So just
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Introduce.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say we were joined in the first hour by both Alan Holman, our executive line producer, and Erika from the channel Truth Unveiled 1123. And she was talking about Sam Gerrans and the Quran and all kinds of good stuff. Parasites. But I actually, if you've just recently joined us, Zach, I think, overslept. Walt is still recuperating from some surgery. And I was just here sort of flailing, exactly. A ship out in the storm looking for a port.
Drowning.
And luckily, Travis from the Plain Truth managed to come on and throw me a life preserver and rescue me. So thank you, Travis.
So Zach's here?
Nope. Zach's not here. I'll call him again. We'll see if we can't just wake his ass up.
Well, just to jump back on what I was saying, one of the ironies of Christianity is the non-denomination. If you know what I mean. Like, yeah, we're non-denominational. We don't have an affiliation. I mean, the ignorance of statements like that is just lost on the members of that denomination. So when I had my Bible podcast, I interviewed Michael Heiser. And if anybody out there is familiar with, Hebrew and the Hebraic scholars, he is one of them. And he's got a pretty popular podcast, not only for the Bible, but also paranormal. I think he's got a podcast. I haven't listened to it in quite a while, but they deal with paranormal stuff, and it's really interesting. But it happened this week too. Someone posted on Facebook something about Michael Heiser and how he doesn't have a bias when he reads the Bible. And I had to jump in. I'm like, if you believe that, you are absolutely gullible to, open to any charlatan out there. I mean, and I've heard him say it, that he approaches the Bible without any ties, without any affiliations. Well, that might be all well and good that he doesn't have an affiliation to this denomination or that or this interpreter, or that might be good. However, that doesn't mean he doesn't have a bias about how he understands the Bible, right? So that was one thing that came to my mind. But the one thing that I was saying right before the break was, even flat Earth is a cult. I mean, we can use that in a pejorative sense, right? It can have a negative connotation, no doubt. But the denotation of it simply has to do with a community of people expressing themselves. And flat Earth is that. And flat Earth has denominations. We have the firmament denomination. We have the non-firmament denomination. We have whatever, right? So let's not fool ourselves into thinking that we don't belong to a particular group. I think that we should just simply be clear that we are open-minded to consider other options and discussions and boxes and rabbit holes and, red herrings and all those kinds of things. So anyway,
Definitely. It's that sort of cult of flat Earth that has always made me a little nervous, in so much that it's that public face, because I think cult is just a shortened term for culture. And I think that there is a definite culture in flat Earth that once you can accept it and your life does start to change in a certain way, where now you start to look at everything through new eyes. And then your life begins to change accordingly. I think there is that definite culture in flat Earth, but it's that excessively loud minority of people, even in flat Earth, that have always made me nervous. That people will think that is the flat Earth culture, as opposed to more of a
right. Well,
accepting.
Yeah, it's a label, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, and you can combat someone who comes in against you because they have a preconceived idea as to what a flat earther thinks, and so you've got a label already. You've got a predisposed bias to the person, from the person that you're talking about.
But I think that's the great thing about Google and what Google really does. It's able to present the cult of any particular group of people, so that when you want to search for flat earthers or Tartaria or anything else, it's able to present whichever loud minority it wants to put up there to make it seem crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? If you took 10 of us and we were in the same room together, and we all brought our personal laptops or our phones with, and then we all typed in the same search for a term, our results would all be different. I think based on what you were just saying, that Google caters to our algorithm. Like it takes everything that we search, and then when we look up this term, it crunches all of that together and then gives us our result. Does that make sense?
It does.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to this one song. I take back speech because he says something in one of his songs. He says something 1, 1, 2, 3. Ain't that cult enough? I got to go back and listen to that.
Hello.
Is that who I think it is? Is that Ukulele Duma?
No, it's the Milk Snatcher.
Oh, the Milk Snatcher. Well, shit. I don't know any Milk Snatcher then.
How are you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, Duma? You been out there snatching milk? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Something like that.
So how's everything down there in South Africa? How you guys doing? How's your culture down there?
This and that. We're doing okay. They're trying to mandate the vaccines, but I think they're trying to do that everywhere.
It does seem like they've kind of eased off this idea of having to mandate shit around here. Again, I think
good for you guys then.
Yeah. Well, they went too far
Well,
too
with-
fast. People with guns.
Yeah, with us, they're pushing really, really hard, eh? They almost put us back to lockdown to convince people to go get their vaccines. But yeah, it might work for the rest of the country, but in the province I stay, um, it's a little like Texas in America. We do whatever the hell we want, so it's not going to work here. They're going to have riots if they try to mandate it here.
Well, that's good. I think that's the way it should be. Power to the
Yeah, I
people.
was trying to call in earlier because I wanted to ask Erika something, but I mean she's gone now. So I'll ask you something, and whoever else is on the panel and chat and all of that. It's come to my attention that there are people who have channels on Odyssey, on YouTube, whatever, who claim themselves to be truthers. But how can you call yourself a truther if you don't mention flat Earth? You just completely ignore it. I think that's one of the most fundamental truths that you need to at least broach it with your subscribers, even if it means you lose a bunch of your subscribers. So then how do you call yourself a truther if you ignore flat Earth, which is basically like my question.
Well, I suppose it's a lot like so many other things. When you're just sort of self-defining it, if you think you are a truther, if you think flat Earth is horseshit because you're waiting for the alien light workers to come down and save us all, then you're out there trying to contact the aliens and interpret the alien messages and waiting for the aliens to come and save us all. And you're not worried about the flat Earth because the flat Earth is a CIA psyop full of shit. And only a real truther would know that, you see. So they call themselves truthers because they can see right through the flat Earth.
Yeah. I have my aunt and uncle are expatriates. They defected from the U.S. and have been living in Switzerland and Spain. And when I was doing Red Hen Radio, I interviewed my uncle, and they're exactly like what you just described. They believe that flat Earth is a psyop, and I just find that so interesting that this one issue, because it doesn't become really a matter of whether or not it's a CIA psyop, because we're talking about science. So, okay, great. You think it's a psyop? Let's talk about the science of it then, because that's going to completely break it away from being a psyop when you deal with the physical nature of our reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
You know, you can call it a psyop, but or it would be like talking to a baller who isn't open-minded, who's not a truther, and they say, well, the science is settled. We're like, great, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the science. And once you do that, you can't then label it, a CIA psyop, or the result of the science being settled, because you're dealing with empirical data that is either this or that. It's binary.
I see Truth Unveiled said, what's your question? I don't know if she's asking me the question or somebody in chat.
I think she was asking you possibly. And Erika, you're of course more than welcome to come back on. We've still got, let's see, another 15 minutes left in this segment, and then another 30 on the other side before we have to get up out of here. So anybody that wants to join, the link I believe is pinned. Should be. Otherwise, I did just drop it a little bit ago. Thank you all for coming to bail me out this morning. I appreciate it.
It looks like you need the help.
I always need the help. Definitely. I mean, it'd be one thing if I'd planned for it, but I was not expecting crickets when I woke up this morning.
What's your take, by the way, on the religion thing? Because when I was listening to Erika, it was a lot of the things that she's gone through. I found that I went through myself, because I've been a Christian. I've gone to mosques. I've been to temples. I've been Hindu, Muslim, just trying to figure out things. I tried a bit of everything. Now I'm not as in depth as her in the sense that she can speak. What was it? That other language, Arabic or something. But I did read the Quran as well, and my biggest thing, although I believe in a higher power, I believe in God. My biggest thing that I found in each place that I went to, whether it was a temple or a mosque or a church, it was the biggest problem was the leaders of that particular organization. It's like they always has to be somebody who's going to be money hungry, and it's all about money. And I mean, I'm not naive. I understand that to run things, it takes money. So you can't just operate free. You're gonna have to take some money from people to try and get things to run. But to me, it always seemed like it was always more about the money than the sense of actually helping people.
I totally get that. And I think there's definitely a whole lot of that in all of the religions. I think religion has become a lot like fishing, right? Where they use the truth of the worm, but there's always the hook in there somewhere. And you can disguise the hook with the truth. And I think that's what a lot of them do. And they use that truth to resonate with people. People are like, oh, well, I feel that's true, so I better go ahead and accept this whole cloth because this is my eternal soul we're talking about, and I better not question it. So if that's got a little bit of truth, then I'm not going to question anymore because maybe I'll end up in hell. And this religion here, this one's got the truth because that's true. And then they just don't ever look for the hook. They don't ever see the hook and realize that, oh, shit, they're just parasites too. They're just feeding off me monetarily or spiritually, or again, however it is that they do it. But I do think it's that those truths that are included in all of them that make them so powerful, that I think you, Duma, and Erika both, here we'll get Erika back on here, that make you so powerful is that you've gone through and you've sifted through and pulled out all of the hooks and left the worms and just pocketed out all those worms for yourself, minus the hooks. So I think that is really awesome. I know Walt is the same way. Walt's gone through and done all of his searching to find his truth. And I never did really do that kind of searching. I was definitely raised in this semi-Christian household, but with, very Christian values. I saw the lies. Well, I didn't see the lies. I parroted the arguments of people who thought they saw the lies at a young age. Then I sort of found a truth in that Christianity, and then found the hook, and then got pushed away, and then found a truth, and then found the hook again. And then finally I realized that, well, shit, these are just worms with hooks in them. And started looking them at all religions in that way. So I really appreciate this message of the Creator and the fact that they are the ones that are probably the sole cause of all the daddy issues and mommy issues in all of us not being able to realize the love that comes with that Creator. Erika, I think that might be you that have radio on in the background. I'm hearing somebody.
Not me.
Nope. That is definitely Duma. I hear
me.
Duma. No, Unkaleleko Duma is got the. I'm catching a little slapback on the other side.
I have my audio muted right now. Do you hear feedback still?
Nope, it was Duma. I was watching it bounce. That's all right.
All right, I muted my computer, but I'm still talking. Is there feedback still?
No,
He must.
it's
That's you, Erika.
Duma. Can you turn your YouTube down, or however it is you were listening to us before?
I'm listening. I'm on the studio restream thing.
Oh, gotcha. Can you?
My YouTube is paused. I was watching on TV.
Can you turn your audio down just a hair? Because your microphone is picking up your speakers, so I hear myself.
Let me try and get earphones. Maybe that'll be a little bit better.
All right. Yeah, that should definitely help. Yeah, just as a heads up for anybody when you're calling in, not just a radio show or a YouTube channel, headphones are the way to go. Just because there's no question. And unless you really have your audio tuned in and tweaked down to you're not going to catch that slapback, so you know that your microphone settings and your speaker settings are as such that the host isn't going to have to listen to that. Headphones are always the way to go.
Agreed. I was gonna say something about religion again. It has a lot to do with idol worship, and what they really want from you in these organized cults is for you to follow an idol, because that's one of the most unforgivable sins. And I believe every organized religion is an idol. And the fact that you're taking a constraint of man and going against what God said is a form of idolatry, and it is a condemning of the soul. And that's the whole point of cults. It is to just have different idols. Some people's idols are themselves. Some people's idols are their feelings. Some people's idols are prophets. But all of it contradicts, like how Muslims go to the Kaaba, kiss the rock, forgiven for my sins. You're doing stone idol worship, and it's not in the Quran. And then you have the Jews that kiss the Wailing Wall and take another stone idol. They have to kiss it to be forgiven. Then you have the Hindus. They do a ritual where they circumnavigate a stone and kiss it, and they're forgiven. It's a little bit of a consistency there. So, I mean, I think that's really one of the root reasons, other than crowd control, is idol worship.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely identify with an obsessive personality where I obsess over alcohol, or I obsess over drugs, or obsess over sex, or obsess over whatever is sort of put in front of me that my attention is able to focus on. And then I sort of get this unhealthy obsession where that's what my focus now is, and I lose focus on so many other things in my life. And I think that's just another way of saying that idolatry, where you lose focus on that creator and the appreciation for being in this special realm at this special time in this special way as a human, and focusing on all the things that are of this earth rather than from the creator that put us here. We are joined actually by someone else this morning. We have Voynich joining us from deep underground, able to at least hold on to one more YouTube channel for now.
Yeah, it's like that, dude. Well, it's I'm not underground. I'm in the Netherlands. I mean, it's pretty low here, pretty flat, but I'm not underground. I have a nice view.
Hey,
on this rotten culture, I have a nice view. So yeah, hi guys and gal.
Hi. Can you guys hear me now? Is it better?
That is much
I can
better.
hear you, Kodo. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to ask Erika a question, but I mean, the question can go to all of you. I'm sure it's a question I've asked before. It was when you were experimenting, essentially going through all these religions, quote unquote, and seeing different people and learning different things about a higher power. Did you come across anything that mentioned stuff like the second son, that is the sun that we basically can't see.
So before we
Yes.
delve into that too much, Erica, I do want to cut you off again real quick because we're about to hit another break, and I want to
Quickly,
catch
the
this
Quran
one.
says it. The Quran says there's two suns, and that there's two easts, and yeah, it talks about multiple suns, and yeah, I've heard it in another thing as well. I can't remember.
Two easts.
And then the question becomes then, what is the second sun? Is that the sun, the real sun, or what are we seeing?
It's the sun of the other land, because there's more land on this flat Earth than we are given. There's the sun, the sun
Erica,
god,
I'm
whatever.
Because that's the break.
Yeah.
So
okay, bye.
Stick around. No, we'll be right back. We've got 30
No,
more
don't
minutes.
go, Erika. Just
Okay.
wait till we come back.
I think there's more. I think there's definitely more than the suns spiral out. Actually,
I have an answer for that question too. I have an option.
Fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. He was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again. So I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
We exist in the security and comfort of our worlds. Paved paths, lights, and manicured lawns give us peace of mind that our world has been tamed, and we are its master. But other worlds exist on the edge of our sight. On the edge of our awareness, the shadows move. The woods fill with the unblinking eyes of the nightmares our ancestors warned us about. Some of us have stumbled into these forgotten realms, whether on purpose or completely by surprise. I'm Brent Thomas. Join us on the Paranormal Portal Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time as we journey into the world of the paranormal phenomena.
Enter the Paranormal Portal if you dare.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
And welcome back. As I was unmuted before, and I muted myself when I started talking. That was less than intelligent. But this is the Ironworks right here. I'm your host, Josh Corey, with a special surprise co-host, lifeguard Travis Finley from The Plain Truth, joining us. We are also joined by Unkaleleko Duma, Erika from the Truth Unveiled 1123 channel, and also Voynich of a self-titled channel, or using his. Welcome back from Spilling Coffee.
Yeah, so I'd like to give an explanation for seeing something like a phenomenon like the second sun. I heard the guy, his name escapes me at the moment, the guy from Kingdom in Context. You know him?
I know the channel.
Yeah. I think it's Josh or Glenn. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But doesn't matter. His explanation was like if there's 7 layers of heaven, let's say 7 layers of firmament, which is quite plausible. And you know, there's a layer with the stars, and there's a layer for the moon and the sun, or there's a layer for the sun and there's a layer for the moon. I don't know. I didn't study it, but it seems very plausible to me that seeing the second sun, because seeing the second sun usually happens like near the horizon, right? When it's rising, it's hardly ever midday. So it could very well be that seeing the second sun indeed has to do about an original sun and a reflection. Like we always see this sun, right? Because the reflection is right, but it might be that you see the way of the sun in the second or the third layer. You know, I'm not sure about that, but that you see another reflection, because we see this the reflection that we see of the sun is like in the final layer, right? The layer that we are under. But if there's 7 layers above that, and I don't think the sun is in the 7th layer at all. I think it's in the second or the third layer. So then there's 2 borders of layers on which it might the light might divert at that border, right?
Mm-hmm.
As it does in glass and in water. So that's what I think we are witnessing when a second sun is seen. I think that's the best explanation that I've heard.
You gotta check out Vibes of Cosmos channel. I really love the work he did with explaining the suns, because I had a thought about the second sun, actually, about how the sun works. I was thinking that, you know where Eden Muru is, the Middle Earth, where there's the magnetic mountain. I had a vision prophecy one time, and I saw this. There was a projector coming from the inner Earth, shining out into the firmament, like a reflection, almost like a flashlight. I'm not sure if it's accurate like that, but it basically, Vibes of Cosmos channel talks about the moon being a reflection of the earth, and it's kind of like a proof from God. And I've read that I think in a either a Hindu scripture or a Buddhist scripture, that the moon is a reflection of the earth. And I had another vision about the moon being a reflection of the earth before anyone was talking about it, about 4 years ago. And I was looking at the moon like, that looks a lot like the shapes of our land. What if it's some kind of burned image reflection? And I definitely believe in 7 layered heavens. I think it's definitely the case. I'm just convinced completely, and I don't think otherwise. And with the second sun, I used to think that the sun would come out the middle earth and spiral outwards through the whole earth like this, and then go out and out and out and out and out and out until we get a new sun, and that's called the new yugas. And the yugas are depending on the sun's position in the sky, and actually the sun affects people a lot. I think countries are even the way they are due to the angle of the sun. I think different people are different ways in different parts of the earth, not only because of the celestial land masses, but because of the reflection of the sun and the way the sun hits the earth. And it's very deep, but Vibes of Cosmos has his own theories that he deduced from this that he broke down very, very, very nicely. And I would definitely recommend, a lot of people are against it, say, oh, the moon crater map, it's so stupid. Well, you know what? Life is weird. And, the more you know, the less you know. And I look at the moon without him telling me. I looked at the moon and thought that since I was young. So just hearing someone else saying it is like, in life you get affirmations and signs from God. I think that's mostly the religion is the real religion is following the path and seeing signs and communicating with God through these signs. And I believe there's this land of Gog and Magog where they're without sun. And I believe there is a sun in the inner earth where the Hyperborean giants are. I know that it's called the Smoky God or something, and it's a sun that goes up and down out of this portal. So it's I don't know. Like I have no idea, but I have a lot of thoughts about it. But thank you for asking. That was really cool. The sun could spiral out and make new yugas, and we get new suns. Like, you ever look at the sun, it's getting bigger and brighter than ever. I remember when I was younger, the sun was like this little thing. And maybe I'm just distorting memory, but it seems that the way the sun moves, we may be getting a new sun every few, maybe 1,000 years or something, hundreds. I'm not sure, but I don't know.
I have a question for Nicolo from South Africa. Like you said, like our province is like Texas, and I lived in South Africa too for several months, and I want to know what province is that? Is that Transvaal by any chance?
No, those guys are sheep. It's
Okay,
KwaZulu Natal.
So what's it? Lesotho or what?
It's KwaZulu Natal,
KwaZulu
in
Natal,
the city of Durban.
Okay.
In Durban, you said?
Yeah, Durban.
I just bought 5 seeds of Durban poison.
What's that?
You're about to have some fun.
That's what I'm hoping. That's
some good daga.
It's a
daga?
genotype.
They call that daga, right, in South Africa?
Ganja.
Now daga, right?
Oh.
I remember
daga. You're talking about daga.
Yeah, but that's like old bad weed.
Wait, you're in Africa. Do you know about Kana?
Need to be more specific.
Kana, it's a herb that grows primarily in South Africa, but it's used. I smoke it every day, and I put it in a blend. I make nick, and I add wild daga, weed, and Kana. But Kana is used in war. Like it makes you really happy, but it's used by Africans back in the old days for war and stuff. You said daga. I thought you were talking about wild daga. It's different.
No, I've never heard of that one, but they might have used it when we were still doing wars between the tribes, because they had the thing of when you go out, you have your fight or whatever, before you are able to return to your village, they believe that the shades of the spirits of the other soldiers or other warriors that you've killed will follow you and haunt you until when you come back, there's a little pot that they have where they cleanse the warrior and they say like a silent prayer, and then you are able to proceed back into the village. And it was believed that if you didn't do that, then the warriors that you killed then would follow you and would slowly drive you insane and basically put a curse upon your family.
Well, they had the post-traumatic stress order, right? I mean, they had that's their solution,
right?
That
goes on today. Yeah,
preventive,
warriors
right?
come back from the from the field are
Shell.
generally.
I mean, they
haunted
called
by
it
the
shell
spirit.
shock. In the 1900s, they called it shell shock, and then they called it another name. I forget the other definition of it, but yeah, it's just a symptom of like you. I mean, why did you do that? I mean, actually, your mind is telling you like why in heaven's name did you do that, right?
Yep.
Would that be true for any killing or just war?
No, it was basically mostly for war, I think.
Fighting may be loathsome for you, but means of denial is worse than killing. Sad. I don't like conflict, but it's like you were talking earlier about getting obsessed about stuff, obsessive personality. Me too. I mean, if I do anything, it's a cycle, and I do it all the time until it wrecks me, and I'm like, fuck. But that's the way of means of denial. But it's a good energy if you use it to like. I would just pick up the Quran because it gives you all the guidelines. Like it's inhuman. It's like a divine book when you read it. It's like no human made this, and it's like not only does it like expand your mind, but it like makes me able to not be like
Erika on the
like this, like going like I don't know, too external, I guess.
On that religious part of things, the Bible, the way it came to my country, and well, the way people ended up adopting it and being Christian is, when you read the history books, basically the Christian churches took advantage of a famine that was happening in my particular country. So how do you coincide the religious aspects of God and all of that to the indigenous beliefs of the people in terms of ancestors? Because that's still a very big thing for the indigenous people in my country. Although the Bible says that you can't worship another god, the way I've always looked at it is that we're not worshiping another god. It's ancestors, it's people that came before you, and you don't pray to them, but you do make sacrifices and help for guidance, and you can still be a Christian. Because a person, for example, if I can better explain it, if you are Zulu, like I am, if you're Zulu, Xhosa, Ndebele, Venda, there's a bunch of different tribes. But if you are Zulu and you have your name, some people have second names, and then you have your surname. Now your surname is your clan name. Basically, the people that came before you that held that same surname, and over the years you accumulate that name accumulates feats, and it gets added onto your oral history. So if I met another person whose name is Duma, I'm supposed to say our oral history or half of it, and they'll say the other half of it, and that all got accumulated in times of like war. Like if a Duma did like really well with a spear, then they'll say Duma, the one who's number one with the spear or something, and that gets added onto your oral history, and over the years it accumulates, and you're supposed to learn your oral history so you can actually say it to other people. This is a term of respect, and that all comes back to the concept of ancestors and basically believing in ancestors, that there's these people that came before you that will look out for you and will help you, and when things aren't really going wrong, that things aren't going right in your life, it's because the ancestors are unhappy about a certain thing and you need guidance from them. So how do you coincide that with normal modern day religion in terms like of Christianity or being a Muslim or Hindu?
I think everything has pieces of the truth, and everything has a deterrence from the truth, and it's all about sifting through those deterrents or expanding your mind and simplifying. Because I personally, like, I respect your beliefs, and I'm my family's, it was indigenous Russian, conquered by Judaism. I mean, I'm not sure what they were before. Maybe they were Tartarian Muslims. God only knows. But how would I connect them all is that, honestly, they all have a piece of something that it's presented in a way that it's very manipulative and very destructive. And if a group of people are thinking something and doing something in a mass scale, question what they're doing. Don't just jump to it, because like lemmings, they jump off a cliff with a herd, and you heard what the herd said, and you just rock yourself to sleep. Because I think the ancestors could be demons, though. Because who knows, like, how do you know that these ancestors aren't just the etheric demons that work with you, that they trick you? Because I know demons are tricky. Demons will trick you in so many ways. I get tricked maybe 10 times a day at least by the demons, and I'm having to constantly go like, hey, that was a fucking demon or something. I make like 1,000 decisions, and I think half of them are from the demons. So at the end of the day, I think all religions are hiding a truth, like a like needle in the hay. You know what I'm saying? Like needle in the hay, because the truth is so pure that it gets like mold on it, and it gets like, it's like a crystal in a rock, and you have to break the rock to find the crystal. I would just read books from with your own thoughts. I really would, and I would try to get your own forms of translations, and it takes years, and it takes a lifetime to figure everything out. And then the only
It's a
way you know
never-ending
you figure out
story.
when you die. And this is a short test. There has to be a hereafter. And it's, in my honest opinion, there's just one person, one being that's almighty, that created everything, that decides everything that happens. And it doesn't matter, maybe ancestors actually have to do with it, and God, wills the ancestors to be happy with you. That's totally possible. But at the end of the day, there's a one tip of the pyramid that's just one, and it's mathematically proven. It's the geometry of life. It's the Fibonacci sequence proves the existence of just one creator. There cannot be anything without just one creator. And when you realize that, your life is so blessed. Like, I never, what I want to say really quick is about wealth and money. People do a lot of bad things for money, and it angers God. But if you stop caring about money and let yourself always be broke, you get so much wealth. You just get money falling in your lap. You walk down the street and find $100 bill just because you trust in God so much. And that's why I do it, because I fear, not the money, but I believe in God because I fear that loss. I'm a survivor of abduction and sex trafficking. I've been through a gang, situation in my life where I died, and I was resuscitated in the hands of a sex trafficking gang. And that's when I really woke up to God, because I was born knowing God and I lost him. And I went through a phase when I was like 17 or 18 where I was about partying. I lost my mind. I didn't care. I was just like rock and roll metal. But then, scary things happened. And I found that God just entered me in that moment. And I'm so grateful for the pain. But there's just one. And he works through everything. And it's amazing. And that's just my message. It's all I have to say, because I have to say it. Like, I'm obsessed too. I have obsessed personality. I can't stop talking about the freaking Quran. I'm smoking my blends. But if you guys want, I have soaps I make. I make orgone. I'm gonna be putting up stuff. I'll give out stuff. You know what I mean? I make like THC soaps. I make a bunch of different stuff. So I'm very like handcrafted. I like to get the demons out. I make anti-Morgellon, anti-demon, Rukia, Reiki products that I don't even want to sell them. I just want to give them to people who actually genuinely want it. So maybe sometime I'll put up info about that on my channel. And if you want to follow me and hit me up, I'm sorry if I'm taking up too much of your guys' space. I'm trying to stay up. My stepmom's visiting me, and I can't. I'm so excited. I can't sleep. Yeah. I'm so in love with you guys right now. Like I love the chat, love the video. I love you. I forgot your name. I am really bad with names. I'm spaced out. I'm realmed out. Space is a lie.
That's right.
I am firmamented out. I'm firmamented.
Properly firmamented. That's pretty good. We've only got about 5 minutes left, but I do want to make sure I take a moment to thank you, Erika, for coming on and hanging out with us this morning.
God bless you guys. I want to go on autodidactics chat tomorrow. I heard Bernie's letting me on, so maybe we could all go there too and hijack his chat if you guys are into that. I like autodidactics chats. Are always so friggin' mind blowing. This was super good.
Campbell's awesome.
He's so cool. I was at Flattoberfest and I was live chatting with him, and I was just like walking around showing everyone, and it was mad fun. He's really easy to talk to, and he's like he helps guide thoughts more. I've learned how to have more rhetoric through the years, because I used to be like unintelligible before I found God. I literally couldn't speak coherent sentences. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's a long journey, and it's a weird life. I'm questioning. I get paranoid a lot. I got paranoid about the flat earth community, and I feel bad for like doubting things and stuff like that. It's just my way of thinking, just because I'm like a heavily traumatized person from all the I'm traumatized in a good way. Like I have strength and callous, but I get paranoid about certain things, but at the end of the day, it's all jinns and it's all angels and it's all God manipulating man. And like the CIA honestly is probably just demons like in your room or some shit. Like it's something you can't even imagine. Life is cuckoo. But you ever get moments you want to be normal a little and like play video games and shit?
Fuck, hell no.
You never want to? Like sometimes like turn your brain off? I don't do it, but sometimes I want to. I'm sorry.
No, I'd rather
I
be
saw the
bored
new
and
Street
take a walk
Fighter and I was like,
outside.
damn.
Come on, no.
Well, I'm a
I
cartoonist.
play video
No, I
games.
don't. No, I really don't. I mean, I think gaming is. I mean, especially for all the guys. I'm happy that I don't have any friends that game, because I think that's so stupid. And I know people do it, and I don't judge you for it. But the idea
I never
of
had
it,
a friend a day in
the
my life.
idea of it, I think it's stupid, man.
Yeah, it's a waste. It's a means of denial. I know.
If you're over 30 and you still do games, I mean, for days in a row.
I play games. I'm 31.
Yeah, but I think it's crazy, dude. But
yeah, but like
I don't
never
get
had a
it.
childhood.
Well, I don't get
sometimes,
it.
like,
It's just not my fun. I think that's better expressed. It's just
like
not my fun.
Cocaine for
I can't
me.
drink and have fun either.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't really take it in moderation. Because of that obsessive personality. Usually, if I find a game I like, then now I'm neglecting other things and dedicating time to this particular game that I should be dedicating to other things.
Bro, we should make a game together.
I mean, I've
do
been
video
there too.
game
What you're
designing.
describing now, Josh, I've been there. When renting a computer and a game and just waking up, or not even waking up, starting to sleep 4 days later. And I was like, dude, I'm not ever gonna do that again. I'm not ever.
You have to
I think I was 20 years old at the time, and it was like my total healing experience. Like, no, man, I'm never ever gonna do that again.
Yeah.
What's fun is to give up material goods all the time and just go. I've been balls to the wall. I hate to keep going really fast, but I've been homeless up by choice, just because I don't want material goods and stuff. And the whole video game thing is like, it's as stupid as it means, it's denial. But like, I don't play it, and I won't. I wouldn't allow myself to distract myself, because it would just be a cesspool of addictive nonsense mind control. But like, I just like, I don't know what I was talking about. I just thinking about video games for a second. I don't know why, but I have NFTs. I make drawings. I'm an artist. Like I like to do like art and stuff. But you guys can check out my art on OpenSea. Silly Baby NFTs.
Right. So that's such a way better way to
Oh,
spend
it's
your time than a
OpenSea.sleep.
game, right?
I want to thank you, Travis, for hopping in and saving me this morning. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank you, Unkalaleko Duma, for hopping in on here. Erika, Truth Unveiled 112.
Sorry for that ending. I don't know. I'm just tired, yo. I'm up. I don't know.
To hear from you. And
Okay,
again,
cool.
be back here Friday.
We got to make a flat Earth video game that's good for you.
That'd be awesome. And thank you, Voynich, for hanging out with us this morning. And everybody in chat, everybody watching after the fact, we love you. Be good, be well, think well. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Ciao.